Welcome back to Ghana Songs TV. I'm Bright.
I'm Ro.
And I'm Chineye. And today isn't one breaking story. It's a full countdown. Ghana's 10 most streamed artists on Spotify right now. All-time totals. Bright, kick us off at number 10.
Alright, number 10 is KiDi, sitting at 262.1 million streams. And honestly, if you know Ghanaian Highlife pop, that number makes total sense. KiDi's been one of the most consistent voices in the Lynx entertainment camp for years now. And songs like Touch It never really left rotation. They just keep quietly racking up plays. Number 9 is Juls at 269.8 million. And what's interesting about Juls is he's not even primarily a performer. He's a producer first, based out of London. And he's built that streaming number largely of production and feature credits across the whole Afrobeats scene, not just his own solo cuts. And number 8, right above him, is Shatta Wale at 289.4 million. Now, that might actually surprise some people, given how much noise Shatta makes about being the biggest name in Ghana. But remember, this ranking is about pure streaming numbers, and Shatta's strength has always been more about cultural dominance, viral moments, and live shows than streaming platforms specifically. Ro, who's climbing in at number 7?
Number 7 is Eugy at 302.2 million. Eugy's actually Ghanaian British, grew up in the UK, and he's one of those artists who helped export the Ghanaian sound to the UK Afrobeats and Afro swing scene early. So a chunk of that streaming number is coming from outside Ghana entirely, which tells you his reach. Number 6, right above him, is Sarkodie at 326.6 million. And for a rapper, that's a genuinely huge number, because rap generally streams lower than melodic Afrobeats or dancehall. Sarkodie's been active since the 2000s. He's basically Ghana's most decorated rapper of all time, and this number reflects 2 decades of catalogue depth, not just one hit season. And number 5 is King Promise at 480 million streams. King Promise has had one of the smoothest, most radio-friendly runs in Ghana over the last several years. Tracks like Terminator and Slow Down crossed over well beyond Ghana's borders. And that's exactly the kind of song that ages well on streaming platforms, because people keep coming back to it years later. Chineye, we're getting into serious numbers now. Who's at 4 and 3?
This is where it gets really interesting. Number 4 is Black Sherif at 513.4 million total streams. And I want to flag something here, because it's a genuinely different stat, but it matters. Separately, by monthly listener count rather than all-time total, Black Sherif has actually been named Ghana's most streamed artiste for 3 years running now. So on total catalog streams, he sits at 4. But on current, right now listening activity, he's arguably number 1 in the country. That tells you his growth curve is still climbing hard. And number 3 is Moliy at 605.2 million. Moliy's had one of the wildest crossover stories in Ghanaian music recently. She's Ghanaian American, and songs like Shake It to Max turned her into a genuine global name, which is exactly why she also picked up that historic American Music Awards nomination for Best Afrobeats Artiste, the first Ghanaian ever nominated in that category. Bright, take us into the top 2.
Number 2 is Amaarae at 1.3 billion streams. And that's not a typo, she's over 1 billion. Amaarae blends Alte, R&B and Afrobeat in a way almost nobody else in Ghana does. And songs like Sad Girls Love Money turned into genuine global streaming phenomena, especially in the US, which is a huge part of why her numbers are this massive. But even with 1 billion plus streams, she's still not number 1.
Because number one, at 1.9 billion streams, is Fuse ODG. And for anyone who's followed Ghanaian music for a while, this one makes complete sense. Fuse ODG basically introduced Azonto and the modern Ghanaian sound to a global mainstream audience back with Antenna and Dangerous Love, years before most of today's Afrobeats wave even existed. He's got that first mover advantage baked into his numbers, an entire decade plus of being one of the first Ghanaian names Western audiences ever streamed, and it shows. 1.9 billion streams, sitting comfortably at number one.
From KiDi all the way up to Fuse ODG, that's the real range of what most streamed means in Ghana right now. Legends and current stars both on the list.
Let us know in the comments who you think is underrated on this list or who you think should be higher.
If this kept you in the loop, hit subscribe so you never miss what's happening in Ghanaian, Nigerian and South African music. This is Ghana Songs TV. We'll see you in the next